So who is first today online?
Kok Seng.
Kok Seng, Kok Seng. How are you? Kok Seng from Singapore?
Yes, Ajahn, I'm from Singapore. Today I have no questions. We just listening tonight, Ajahn.
You don't have any question right now?
No, I don't have. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me say hello to Anura from New Zealand. Hi Anura, how are you?
Good morning, Anja. Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you very much. Yeah. How are you?
Good. What time is it in New Zealand? About
Now just 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have no special question today, Anja. So
Alright.
I'm happy to listen
Is
in.
this normal for you to shave your head like this, or is this your first time?
No, I've been shaving for last maybe 10, 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
For us monk, we shave tomorrow. Tomorrow is shaving day.
Yeah, yeah.
The last day of the month before we enter the new month, the new Luna, the full moon.
Oh, yes.
So we shave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay then. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Anja.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me say hello to Sri and Czech from Vancouver, Canada. Hi.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good, Ajahn. How are you?
Good. It's morning for you, isn't it?
Yes. It's 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Not as early as Adura, Ajahn.
It's true.
Yeah, true.
But different day though. Different day though. He's one day ahead of you.
Oh yeah.
It's Tuesday now.
Oh, right,
No,
right.
it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning actually.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah.
And you're just starting your Tuesday.
Yeah, we're just starting the Tuesday.
And he's starting his Wednesday.
It's cool. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh.
Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I have a questions like it's about the Buddha taught us the worldly win, gain and loss, like praise and blame. But at the same time, he also say like that certain things that we do, it will be like well praised by the noble disciple.
No, he was talking the worldly things in general.
Yeah.
In the world, you will have the two things, they come together. You have loss and gain, fame, you have praise and blame.
Yeah.
So an enlightened person will be would be affected by what they come across. If they're being praised, they feel very happy. And if they're being blamed or criticized, they feel sad. But for an enlightened person who understands the nature of this world, they rise above this. They don't react to praise or blame. They know that they are just something that come and go. So if you are attached to one thing, then you will be hurt when that thing that you are attached to disappear and replaced by something you don't want. Like if you are attached to praise, when people praise you, you feel happy. But when they stop praising you, you feel sad. Or they start to criticize you and say bad things about you. So if you don't want to be affected by criticism or blame, you must not enjoy praises. You just have to understand that they just are temporarily, they're impermanent, and they come and go. And when they go or replaced by blame, if you are attached to praises, then you will feel sad. But if you're not attached to praises, you don't care if people praise you or not. Yeah. Then when people say bad things about you, you don't care either. See?
Yeah.
That's why you have to understand that the word, the 8 things in this world, there are 4 pairs of things in this world that comes in pairs. They like wealth, they come and go, money come and go, and status, like being a president, comes and go.
Yeah.
And praises come with blames, okay, and happiness comes with sadness. So if you don't want to be affected by this half of the things, then you must not be attached to the other half. If you are attached to the positive ones, like getting money, getting rich, getting status, being a president or prime minister, and being praised by the Nobel Prize or the Oscar nomination, and enjoy with happiness from these things. When they don't appear to you, when you lose them, you feel sad. But if you don't have any interest in them, you don't rely on them to make you happy. They can come and go, and they will not make you sad. So an enlightened person doesn't rely on these things to make them happy. They rely on peace of mind, equanimity, or calm that you get from meditation, and letting go of your cravings for these things. So this is everybody who's born in this world will have to be affected by these worldly dhammas, these 8 things. And depends on whether you are clever or not clever. If you're clever, you don't want to be sucked into it. You just if you happen to come across it, you just have to kind of being aloof, not being sucked into it. It's like the droplet of water on the lotus leaf. They don't being sucked into by the leaf. Not like a piece of paper. If you drop a drop of water on a piece of paper, the water will suck it all in. Once you suck it in, you suck the other side of the thing also, because this thing comes like a coin. A coin has 2 sides to it. If you take the coin, if you take the good side of the coin, you also take the bad side of the coin. When the coin flips the other side. So this is what you want to teach your mind to be careful. If somebody give you something, you should not, expect that this thing will come in all the time. Someday it will stop, or or what you get, you might lose it one day, sooner or later. Because this is the nature of things in this world; they are impermanent. So if you see the impermanence, you see the anatta of these things. Anatta means you cannot control them. You cannot tell them to come all the time. Money come in every day, every month, Sometimes it stops coming in. It keeps going out instead. Then it's better not to rely on money if you don't want to be hurt by money when you lose the money. So if you don't want to be hurt by these 4 things, status, wealth, praise, and happiness from what you see, what you hear, then you should not engage with them. You should not indulge in them. You just engage in meditation for your source of happiness. then you don't have to rely on these things to make you happy. So when you don't rely on them to make you happy, they cannot cause you any sadness because you don't rely on them. They can come and go anytime. But if you're still living in the world, you still might you might still have to be in contact with these things.
Yeah.
But your mind will not fall into the trap of indulging in it. You might stay apart from this thing, merely acknowledging. If somebody say a nice thing about you, you say, okay, fine, But tomorrow he might change his mind and say something bad to you again. So you don't expect anything. See, this is what an enlightened person will see the world like this. It's changing, flip like a coin. Today it flips this way, tomorrow it flips the other way. So, but if you are praised by somebody, you just listen rationally, not emotionally. Okay, what's the reason for praising me? Did I do something good? Or I helped somebody and they say this is a good action. Okay, I accept that. But I don't feel elated by what the person say. I didn't do it because I want people to praise me. I do it because I know it's the right thing to do. It makes me feel good. That's all I need. I don't need praises from other people. But I do it because it makes me feel good. When I do charity, I feel good. When I help people, I feel good. So I do it. And if people want to praise me or not, it doesn't matter. That's how you should deal with these things in this world. Because some people do good thing and they expect to have reward. They expect to have praises. How come I didn't get the Nobel this year? Then you feel sad, for being overlooked, for the prize. So this is not what you want to do. If you want to do something good, do it for yourself, not for other people to praise you, to give you reward. You do it because you feel good. Now the things that the Buddha taught us to do is to make us feel good. Keeping the precept makes us feel good. We don't hurt other beings. Makes us feel good. When we hurt other beings, we feel bad. We give charity, we help with charity, we do charity work, it makes us feel good because we make other people happy. We are Santa Claus. When you do charity, you are Santa Claus. You're playing Santa Claus. So this is what we should do. Do the things that make us feel good and don't expect anything from other people, from what we do. Okay.
Ajahn, the happiness and sadness in these four pairs, that happiness is the happiness from
sensual objects.
Okay.
Sensual objects. When you go to a movie, you go to a party, you enjoy, you have happiness. But next time when there's a party and you're not invited to go, then you feel sad, you feel left out. But if you don't go to the party in the first place, then it doesn't matter if the next party you're invited or not.
But the happiness from Sila, Samadhi, and Panya it's a good, like it's the...
Yes, and you can always generate it yourself. You don't have to rely on other things to do it. See, if you have more money than you can spend, then you share it with other people. But if you don't have, then you don't have to do charity, that's all. But you can still keep the precepts. Maintaining the precepts makes you feel good. When you lie, you feel bad. When you don't lie, you feel better. When you steal somebody's money but you don't steal, there's a difference in your feelings. And when you meditate, you have calm, peace of mind, and happiness from meditation. So these are the ways of making us happy without having to bother other people or rely on other people or things to make us happy. This is the right way of making us happy or creating good feelings for us. Not like people in the world, they tend to get happy when they get money or when they get a position, like becoming somebody important, or being praised, giving rewards, or enjoy your sensual objects, like going on holidays, going to a party, watching movies, drinking, eating, and so forth. This you have to rely on things to make you happy. See? And the minute that you cannot rely or have them, then you feel sad. You feel like killing yourself. People kill themselves because they cannot have happiness from this thing. So you have to be very careful because these things are impermanent, and you don't know when they're gonna disappear. When they disappear suddenly, and you're not prepared for it, you don't know what to do with yourself. You have these things to make you happy. Now suddenly there's nothing to make you happy, and you don't know how to make yourself happy without having anything.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's true. Yeah.
So
But if you learn how to meditate, you learn how to keep the precept, then when you don't have to have anything. Like right now, you have to be locked down. You stay at home. You cannot go out. You cannot make any money. So but you can still meditate and be happy. And the money you need is just the money to pay for your food. Probably that's all. You don't have to buy more things, buy things that you don't really need to make you happy. So this is the alternative way of making yourself happy, the way of the Buddha. Charity, morality, keeping the precepts, and meditation.
Oh.
I can do this all the time. I'm here in my room and I don't have to go out to the shopping mall, going to a cinema, or going to a party to make me happy. I'm happy right now, being alone by myself.
that's great.
Yeah.
Ajahn, thank you for guiding us to the right way to get happiness and the sustainable way to get.
Okay.
Yeah.
This you can always have it because it's always with you. You're the one who created. You don't have to rely on other people to make you happy.
Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's so right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ajahn.
Let me say hello to Kenneth from Switzerland. Hi, Ken. Thanks for the chocolate, by the way. I forgot to mention it last time.
Oh, thank you. I'm quite amazed it arrived. Very good.
Did you mail it actually, or did you just send the money and let somebody buy it here?
No, I sent the chocolate from Switzerland to Bangkok,
Really? Oh.
and one of your disciples was kind enough to take it down.
And gave it to me the other day.
Yeah.
At first, I thought you sent the money and asked her to buy it here in Thailand.
I know. It came all the way from here.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Anything from you today?
Yeah, Ajahn, I have a question regarding the Four Noble Truths. The question is are the Four Noble Truths already in the mind, and we have to basically uncover them from the defilements?
That's right. The Four Noble Truths is actually happening in our minds. But for most of us, it's just the first two noble truths that is happening most of the time. The truth of dukkha and the truth of the cause of dukkha, which are our cravings. From the morning we get up, when we open up our eyes, our cravings start to come up already. Oh, I want some orange juice. I want to have a cup of coffee, and so forth. And if you cannot get it, then you get dukkha right away. See? If somehow the water heater doesn't work, your boiler doesn't work, you cannot have hot water to make your hot coffee, then you feel dukkha already arising. So most of us, for most unenlightened people, you only see the first two truths, the truth of dukkha and the truth of the cause of your dukkha are your cravings. But you don't see it, see, you don't look inside your mind. When you feel bad, you have dukkha, right? So instead of finding out the cause of dukkha, you go to the things that your mind wants to make you happy, to get rid of your dukkha. So you go to the coffee, to the orange juice, to whatever you want to have at that time. So, but if you study the noble truth and you say, "Oh, I don't feel bad because I want to have a cup of coffee, and I cannot get it today. So what should I do? I should just change my mind, right? Okay, no coffee today. That's it. Water instead. We just drink water, hot water or cold water or whatever. Then dukkha will disappear. But no, you will insist, I have to go get that cup of coffee I want in order to get rid of my dukkha. So I might have to go to the next door neighbor and ask for a loan or cup of coffee or something. Yeah. That's not the way to deal with your dukkha. See? The way to deal with your dukkha is to get rid of the cause of your dukkha, which are your cravings. And but if you start to do this, then you're generating the fourth truth, the magga, the path to the cessation of dukkha. You discover that your dukkha is caused by your craving. So the way to get rid of your craving is to get rid of your dukkha is to stop your craving, change your mind. Instead of wanting the cup of coffee and you cannot get it, okay, no coffee today, I'll drink water instead. Then the dukkha will disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the third truth appear in your mind, the cessation of dukkha appear. See, for most of us, no, we don't solve a problem this way. We don't solve our problem by getting rid of our cravings. We keep pushing our craving toward what we want. If we want something, we just keep going until we get it. See? Sometimes by trick or by anything, any means to get what we want. See? And we're committing ourselves into more trouble that way. We might have to break the law, break the precepts to get what we want. Then we have problem later on. They discover, oh, you broke the law, so they have to catch you, put you in jail. So this is not the way we should, not the right way to solve our problem. The way we do in this world is the wrong way. It's creating more problem, creating more dukkha. The way to solve our problem is to stop our cravings.
Yeah.
Just if you try to analyze every time you feel bad, ask yourself, what am I craving now? That should be the question you should ask. Is this clear enough to you?
Yes, Ajahn, thank you very much. That's very clear.
So you have to watch the three cravings, the cravings for the sensual objects, cravings for being, like you want to be president and you can no longer become president, what happened? You suffer, right? You feel sad. You feel miserable. So you have to stop your desire to be something also. And the desire not to be something also, you have to stop. You don't want to be an ordinary person. You want to be famous. You want to be big, for instance. And when you cannot be, then you become sad. You feel sad. So you have to try to stop all these cravings in your mind. And the best way to do it is by meditation. When you meditate, you get your mind to calm down and your cravings temporarily stop. And you have equanimity, you have peace of mind and happiness arising from this peace of mind. Then you don't need to go after things to make you happy. But when you come out of meditation, if you're not careful, your craving will come back again. And if you want to get rid of it permanently, then you have to use the truth, the noble truth to fix it. Figure out your suffering or your dukkha is caused by your cravings. And then the way to solve the dukkha is to stop your cravings. And in order to stop your craving, you have to see the things that you crave for are impermanent. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you don't get it. Or sometimes you get it, then you lose it. Then you feel sad again when you lose what you want, what makes you happy, right? Like you became a president for 4 years, so you want another 4 years, right? So when you cannot get another 4 years, how do you feel? You feel bad, right? And you try, by all means, try to get it. Even though the truth is right in front of you, you still deny the truth. Because you still want it, you want to have the presidency for yourself. So you try all sort of tricks, anything you can, so that you can get it. But eventually the truth overwhelms your effort. So you eventually have to give up. Not because you wanted to give up, but you know, nobody goes along with you anymore. You know. But so you still remain sad right now, you know, because you don't get what you want. But if you just change your mind, accept, okay, this time I don't get it, you know, so I should change my craving, stop my craving to become president because it's impossible to become. If you can just accept that, then your sadness will disappear. Okay? So you have to, in order to stop your craving, you have to see that they are anicca, anatta. They are not something that you can always depend on. You cannot always say, okay, this time I'm going to be president, and the next time I'm going to be president again. You cannot do that, see, because they're not under your control. So if they're not under control, it's better not to crave for them to be safe. Because you can be happy without having to be anything. Be a knower. That's all you have to do. Just be a knower. The mind is a knower. Just know, and don't have any craving for anything. Then you won't have to have any dukkha in your mind. All right.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next is Ka Fai Lim from Singapore.
Good day to you, Ajahn. I'm from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Okay. Can I do anything for you today?
I supposedly have a question, but yesterday I read on your Facebook, it's something to do with the meditation. Whenever in the emptiness, it seems like my mind will try to think about the breath when the breath becomes too delicate. So after a while of emptiness, meditations, maybe half an hour, and then the mind will try to remember back the delicate breathing that I used to get to the calmness. So maybe I read the post. Maybe I may need to have more ideas how to maintain the emptiness. Is it just by watching the mind and prevent it from doing anything else, or
That's right. Just stop the mind from doing anything except watching, observing the state of mind that exists at that time, which is emptiness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But if you're not able to use the mindfulness, then you might have to regenerate your mindfulness. If you can focus on your breath, then keep focusing your breath.
Yeah, I think that is the problem, because after a while of emptiness, the mind try to remember where is the breath, the delicate breath that it used to have. So that exactly the problem. Then it came out from the emptiness, and then slowly we get back. So in and out, after like half an hour. So yeah, but now after I read the post that yesterday has been posted in your Facebook, I know exactly what to do. It's just to have the mind to prevent from doing any action that arises.
Right. Just merely knowing, that's all.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all, Ajahn.
All right.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Kyu Yen Dong from London. Hi, how are you today?
Hello, Ajahn. I'm good, thank you. Today I have no question.
No question
Happy.
today.
Yeah,
All right.
just happy.
Okay, nice to see you. Claudia Schweiner from Germany, near Nuremberg, I think.
Yeah, good afternoon from Germany. Yes, I live near Nuremberg, and I have a question today. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, good.
Yeah. I just don't know if I find the right English words, so I would ask, please to ask if it sounds weird. So, as you maybe remember, I do social work since many, many years. I work a lot with people who are underprivileged, so poor people or people in special needs. And during all the years I do social work, I developed something like an isolated skill. This means that I can read social patterns very quickly. And to me, it's more a burden because with this skill to read social patterns or to analyze social patterns very quickly, I can do predictions. So if you behave like this, it will lead to that. And I often see, or I often see people who behave in a certain way that they will have bad results. And this is causing me sometimes a lot of stress because sometimes I say, well, if you behave like this, something bad will happen. And in 80%, I was right. And I don't know how to develop equanimity with this skill, because it looks like if I was a fortune teller, but I'm not. It's just a problem that I have all this experience in social work. So I want to say warnings to people, but I don't know if this is good to understand what I mean.
Yes, yes, I understand. What you lack is the ability to know your abilities, the limit of your ability. How much you can influence other people. That's what you have to learn, to find out how much can you influence this person, and
in a good way, of course,
yeah,
not
in a
a
good
bad
way,
way.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you know that if this person's gonna do this thing, it's gonna be bad for him, for instance. So you try to tell him this, but then you have to accept whether he will accept your advice or not. That's something you cannot force him to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just tell him, if you're gonna do this, this is what's gonna happen, and then you stop, and you don't be attached to him. See, so if he decide to do it, and things happen to him, that's his business, not yours. You have done your job. You have done your part. But sometimes you get involved once you know something, you want that person to do exactly what you want him to do or her to do. And when he or she doesn't do it, then you feel stressful.
Yeah, and painful. To me, it's very painful when I see that this person is suffering because of the consequences.
Yeah, but that's that person's own action, not yours.
Okay.
You're just an advisor. You're just the one who gives direction. And if that person doesn't want to follow the direction you give, and then it's his problem or her problem.
Okay.
Nothing you can do. Like the Buddha, someone asked the Buddha, said, Buddha, you have many disciples, you have many students who come and study with you. How come some of them became enlightened and some don't? The Buddha said, I don't know. I taught them all the same thing. It's up to them. What can I do? The Buddha said, I did my part. Right?
Okay. Right.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, Philip Lim from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Hi, where is your wife?
Oh, my wife is listening in another room, trying to put the children to sleep.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself, Ajahn?
Good, thank you.
I have a slight question on interpretation of a particular word. Often I read in the text in the first jhana, there is something called discursive thoughts, and is interpreted as vitaka vichara. But I believe that the English translation is not so correct. I read that discursive means what, aimless thoughts or logical thoughts which are happening. And some people when I've read in some text that vitaka means thoughts that draw you to certain subject. Vichara is thoughts that bring you away from that subject. What is actually the correct interpretation? And when the meditation happens in the first jhana, how does this thought appear? Does it appear in the background or?
No, it means that vitaka, vichara means your mind is working with an object like your breath. When you're focusing on your breath, this is vitaka.
Okay.
Vichara means knowing the breath coming in and out. This is vichara.
Okay.
So when you meditate, this is what you will have when you first start to meditate. You will have vitaka, vichara, focus and knowing what you are focusing upon, the object of your focus.
Okay.
Then if you can persist on this focus and concentration, then your mind become calmer and you get sometimes raptures or good goosebumps, or you got good feeling, happiness arising. But as you advance, eventually vitaka, vichara will disappear. When the breath disappears, so there's no more vitaka, vichara for you. See? Like the person who mentioned what happened when there's no breath. He still wants to keep maintain his vitaka, vichara. So you cannot, you don't do it. You just then use just being observing instead, just be merely knowing that there's no more breath to observe. Because you're about to enter into ubeka, so when everything disappears.
Okay.
So, but this thing is not important when you meditate. What's important is your focus, your concentration on your meditation object. And what are the things that appear, let them appear, but they are just passing. They are not the objects you want. The object you want is equanimity and complete calm. The result of you keep focusing on your meditation object. So because sometimes the mind doesn't work like that in the book. That someone use butto, and when the mind becomes calm, it's like falling from a high place. So it's sort of skip all the other two steps, and go directly from the first to the fourth step, the fourth jhana. So what is important is just to focus on your meditation object and disregard everything else. Don't analyze, am I having vitaka, am I having vichara, am I having happiness, sukha, am I having piti, so forth. Don't. If you do this, you're not going to get anywhere because you're just sitting there analyzing things instead of focusing on your meditation object. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, Forrest Tong from Massachusetts. Hi, Forrest.
Ajahn, John, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
I don't have any questions today. I'm just very grateful for your call. I find it very motivating for practicing. So I'm just trying to keep strengthening my mindfulness.
Yes, okay. That's the most important thing in your practice is mindfulness. And you just don't do it just during meditation only. You have to do it all the time because you can do it while you're doing things, while you whatever you can be mindful. All right, then let me say hello to Clyde Brennan. Hi, Clyde. Is this your first time here? Where are you from?
Yes, it's my first time here, John. I am in Phang.
Where?
Chiang Mai province.
Chiang Mai,
In
Thailand.
Phang. Chiang Mai
Yes,
province.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. My question was, does the Buddha taught suffering and the end of suffering and karma as it relates to suffering and the end of suffering, or is everything karma? Because we as humans have free will and the ability to make choices. So is everything karma? Yeah, that's my
Yes,
question.
making choices is also a form of karma without you knowing it. So you're using your thought, your action of thoughts of your thought is considered mental karma. See, there are three types of karma: vocal or speech karma, physical, bodily karma, and mental karma, your thought, your thinking. You decide to do something that you're already performing a karma. You decide to go to church, or you decide to go to a bar instead. So you have choices, and you're choosing good or bad karma. See? Going to church is good, right? Going to a bar is bad. Right?
That's a good.
So you already perform good and bad karma, and you pay the consequence, because there's a difference when you go to church and go to a bar, right?
Sure.
All right. So this is what he means by that. And the Four Noble Truths is also a form of karma. When you crave for something, this is karma already, mental karma. When you crave for something and you cannot get what you want, you get dukkha, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you stop your cravings, then this is magga, or the path to the cessation of suffering. This is another form of mental karma. Stop your cravings. When you stop your craving, then the dukkha that arises from your craving will then disappear. So you get the cessation of dukkha. So the Four Noble Truths is the ultimate karma action. The mental karma, the mental action is the master of all the karmas. Because before you can say anything or do anything, you have to wait for the mind to tell you to do first. So the Buddha goes to the heart of the matter, which is the mental karma. And if he discovered that the craving is the source of all the dukkha. So this is a bad karma. Craving is considered to be bad karma. And good karma is to stop craving. Because when you can stop craving, then the dukkha will disappear. When there's no dukkha, then you have bliss, what we call the supreme happiness. All right? Is this clear enough to you?
All right. Yes, that's clear, Ajahn. Thank you.
So we make choices. So since we're not wise, we need to study from the wise men, like the Buddha or Jesus or any other religion leaders. They are wiser. They know what is good and what is bad. And then you learn from them, and then you can make the right choices. They will lead you to peace and happiness instead of to turmoil and suffering. Okay?
Oh, thank you.
Any more questions? Is that all? Okay, let me say hello to Soling from London. Hi, Soling.
Hello, Ajahn. How are you?
Hi, thank you.
We have no question today, just listening. Thank you.
Okay. By the way, the school has received the donation that Phoebe sent through you, right?
Oh,
did you send it?
right. Yes, she told me yesterday. Thank you. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I'm glad she have done it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, good. All right. Does your daughter want to ask anything?
Your question? Yes. Okay, then go on then.
May I ask for your forgiveness, but I deliberately ate on more of the
More about what?
deliberate tablets when I was not allowed to. And so I am making my own kilesas for myself when I want to fix something on instead of.
Can you explain to me, Solly, what you said?
Okay, what tablet?
Hi.
Okay. Well, I don't really understand. I think she's trying to practice with the according to the Buddha's teaching. She's very good, but she often the mind like the mind is so uncontrollable, as we all know. So sometimes she wants to do something which she knows it is not the right action, and then she will do something else, overcome that, and then afterward she regret, and then she will do something else. So what happened is, she said she have taken extra tablets because she's on a tablet for her epilepsy seizures. And she have taken extra tablet this morning she thinks she will help, but now she knows it is wrong. And she said she asked for your forgiveness. Is that what you want?
Yes, so how should I avoid these things altogether, deliberately doing the wrong things when I know?
You need willpower. You need willpower to resist what you think is not good for you, not to do what the thing is not good for you. If you know it's not good, then you need to have willpower to resist it. If you don't have, just try to use the mantra to help you build up your willpower. Every time you're gonna do something that you should be doing, then just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. That will stop you from doing it. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Hi, Julia. Where are you from, Julia?
Greetings, Ajahn. I'm from Colorado.
Okay. All right. This is your second time, right? Or third time?
Oh, you remember? Thank you.
Yeah, last time, remember, Colorado.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Are you well?
Yes, I'm okay. Thank you.
Oh, good. Your teachings feel very cooling off to me. Thank you. I have no question.
All right. Okay. Nice talking to you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Sinyi and Monica Chen from Malaysia. Hi. Where is Sinyi?
Good evening, Tan Ajahn. I'm from Johor Bahru, Malaysia. Sinyi is attending another Zoom meeting, which she can't avoid, but she'll be joining in shortly.
Okay. Fine. Anything today?
Yeah, personally, let's say sometimes during the daytime, I don't recite Buddha because I find that there is no thoughts. And but whenever I feel that my thoughts come in, then I will try to bring back my mind to the body. Is this okay for normal practice?
Yes, you can use the body instead of mantra to anchor your mind, to stop your mind from thinking endlessly.
So if I feel that there is no thoughts and there is no emotions, is it okay just to observe the emptiness this way?
Yes. That's what you want your mind to be, in emptiness, no emotion. Okay. Because emotion can be both good and bad. They are the two sides of the same coin. If you rely on emotion to make you happy, then when it flips over, then it can make you sad. So it's better not to have any emotion at all, like and dislike. They come together. Love and hate come together. You love something and one day you can switch it around and hate that same thing that you love. So if you don't love, then you won't have any hate. If you don't like, then you won't have any dislike.
Then I have another one. Last week, when I came back home, suddenly I saw a dead cat in my car porch. Then I felt there is a aversion. How do I deal with these things in the future? Because when I see like humans, when they pass away, I can say that, oh, that is my future. But when it comes to animals, I do not know how to handle.
You have aversion for animals. Dislike, you mean? Do you have dislike for animals? Or what?
Yeah, especially like for cats, I find that, they can be very clingy, So I think possibly those days I used to feed the cats, but then I don't allow them to come to the house. And then lately I find that they're very clingy. And lately I also don't keep any pets for a long time already.
Well, as long as you don't have any hatred toward them or do anything bad to them, it's okay. It's something that you might take time to educate your mind to see that we are all the same, except that the body that we have is different. But we have the mind, which have the same nature. We have the same problem. So it takes time to understand this thing. So as long as you don't do anything bad toward anybody, then that's good enough. Even though you might not like this or that person or that thing, because you still have some prejudice, you still have some lingering memory about this thing or these people that you don't like. It might take time. As you advance in your practice, you might become more neutral. As you advance, you will get more neutral. You get more equanimity. Then your mind will then get rid of this aversion eventually.
Okay.
So right now, just don't react to them in a bad way. That's all. If you have to react to them, react with metta, with loving kindness and compassion. If you cannot, then just try to be, just use equanimity. Just don't do anything. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Joseph Chi from Malaysia. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Hello, Ajahn. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn. I don't really have question for the time being or today. If I have, I'll ask later.
Okay, the next round maybe. Okay, fine.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Hi, Mudita from Canada. How are you?
Hi, Ajahn. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Good. My question today is about, I've been listening to your recorded talks, and somebody recently asked about the antidote to anger. And you talked about metta, and I wondered if there's an antidote to fear.
Fear? Okay. Fear is caused by your delusion of your body. You think the body is you, and the lack of knowledge of the nature of the body, that the body is impermanent, that it's gonna die anyway, sooner or later. So this is what you have to educate your mind. To tell, first of all, that the body is not you. You are the mind, a spiritual being that get connected to the body in order to use the body to get what you want, namely the sensual objects. So you and the body are two, like Siamese twins, let's put it that way. Okay. You're the mind, and the body is not you. So whatever happens to your body doesn't happen to you. This is what you have to try to teach your mind, teach yourself that. And the second fact is that the body is impermanent. It's subjected to aging, sickness, and death. So no matter how well you look after it, protected it, one day it's gonna die. So you can understand this and accept this truth, then your mind can be able to get rid of your fear. Say, why should you be afraid? Because I will have to die anyway, sooner or later.
Okay.
If you cannot yet teach your mind that way, when you come across fear, you can use a mantra to stop your fear.
Okay.
When you're afraid of something, just if you can close your eyes and just keep reciting a mantra. And
Any mantra.
Any mantra that you like.
Okay.
So that your mind is away from what makes you afraid, what makes you fearful. And eventually, when you forget about the object that caused your fear, then the fear will disappear.
I noticed it. I mentioned this is my second time here, and the last time I mentioned I haven't been able to sit in meditation for the last month or so because of a problem with my knee. And what I've noticed is that the right knee, the right side of my body tenses when I sit, and that's causing the knee to go out of alignment, and that's causing the problem. So I thought that there might be some, if I'm saying that I'm trying to sit, and I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to sort of focus on the mantra when I'm sitting, that would help relax the right side of my body, or am I?
Are you sitting in cross-legged position, or are you sitting on a chair?
No, I'm sitting half lotus.
Half lotus
on the floor. Yeah.
Well, reciting the mantra can help you forget about the pain. See, if you keep reciting the mantra, then the pain will still be there, but it will not bother you.
Yeah, I feel less pain when I'm sitting than I do like later, because the knee has gone out of joint. So when I'm walking later, I'm limping.
Yes. If you cannot sit cross-legged, you can just sit on a chair instead.
Or do the walking.
Do the walking. Because sometimes physical ailment, you cannot force it, you know. You just have to accept the reality of it and just try to make the best out of it, that's all. Because sitting cross-legged is more for professional meditators. People who meditate a lot, many hours a day, for instance. If you only sit for half an hour, then maybe you can sit on a chair, sit on the bed.
I've been meditating for 4 or 5 hours a day for the last month, and before that a couple hours too.
Okay, but that's good. If you want to sit half lotus, is fine also, but you just have to endure the pain.
Okay.
Don't make it disturb your meditation. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's the only question I had. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Next, Yanasami from Lebanon. Hi.
Hello, Bante.
How are you today?
I'm fine, Bante, and you?
Fine, thank you.
Today I wanted to ask you, because as you know, I've been increasing my meditation lately, and I noticed that every time I increase the meditation, the more I increase, the more the defilements are coming out, and like all kind of the defilements, the whole thing. And I find that it's very difficult to deal with them on an emotional level, and that's like making me kind of tired. So should I reduce my meditation? Like I've been sitting about 4 to 5 hours every day. Should I reduce the meditation, or should I just endure through this phase?
Well, if you want to move forward, then you have to endure. You have to keep pushing your defilements. Don't let your defilement push you back. It's like a tug of war between you and your defilement. So if you go easy, then your defilement will then have the upper hand. But if you go hard on your defilement, then you will have the upper hand. But you will have to face a lot of stress doing this. So it's up to you. If you want to advance, then you have to keep pushing yourself more and more. But if you want to have a relaxed and enjoyable experience, then you just take it easy, but you won't be moving forward.
But that has to be till the end, right? Because
yes, eventually when you have got rid of all your defilements, then you won't have to do any more exertion. Your work is done. But as long as your work is not done,
it's the constant fight till the end.
Yes. And one thing will help you push yourself forward is the reflection on death, reminding yourself that death is waiting you around the corner. So you have to hurry up and do this job as much as possible, because you don't know when death will come knocking at your door.
Is there a meaning if during the meditation suddenly a skeleton appeared in our mind?
Suddenly what?
A skeleton. A skeleton appears in the mind, like a skull.
Yes, it can happen to some people and some not. It depends. But it's just like another image. So you're just being aware of what happens. If an image of a skeleton happens, then just be aware of that. That's all. If you want to make use of it, you have to maintain that image until it becomes embedded in your mind permanently. Meaning that every time you see a person, you see the skeleton also. Then this will help you to have a better perception of the human body.
Oh, it's like the 32 body part meditation.
Yes. Sometimes just one part can give you a better understanding of the nature of the body. If you see the skeleton along with the person that you see, then you say, "Oh, we are all skeleton. Really, why to be so excited about it? Why do we have to have all this fashion show and
Yeah,
we're just dealing with skeletons. We just don't see the skeleton. That's all."
I should probably buy like one of those skeletons they use in the science class.
Yeah, you can hang
just meditate on it.
Hang in your bedroom, and every time you look at it, I'm looking at myself. This is part of me that I don't see. It's good if you can use it. But you want to bring it inside your mind, not outside, because when you're out of sight, this thing will be out of mind also.
Yeah.
So you want to bring it in by constantly contemplating, or by constantly reflecting, imagining the skeleton in your mind all the time, until it becomes second nature to you.
I heard you talk about one monastery in Thailand where they forced their students to observe like a dead body, during the time of the Buddha. Do you know? Can you give me the name of that monastery? I'm actually interested. If I ever go to Thailand to go there.
I don't know the name, but I know the person. I think she was a woman, and she became a nun temporarily, and she had to go meditate in front of a corpse, all alone.
Because I'm really interested to do that meditation, Asubha.
Yeah, Asubha, and also getting rid of your fear of ghosts, and things like that. Eventually you realize that you yourself is a ghost, is a living ghost, right?
Yeah.
Where does body come from anyway, right? Body comes from living body, right? Dead body comes from living body. So you are
Funny
living ghost
story.
right now. Your body is a living ghost. You are living with a living ghost. So why should you be afraid of a dead ghost? This dead ghost cannot do anything to you. It's a living body that can hurt you, right?
I just
Have you heard of the news that dead body hurt other people? No.
This
Somebody,
actually I just started reading the Ajahn Jayasaro's audio book about Ajahn Chah's life, and he was talking about Ajahn Chah's experience with the ghost when he was a Tudong monk. And it's not like they cannot really hurt you, but you can feel them. Like he was talking about when Ajahn Chah felt that the ghost was kind of sitting on his chest and like really pushing down or something, but it cannot kill him or hurt him, or just maybe only scare, only like you can feel the presence, but if you control your mind, then they cannot hurt you.
that's right. So there's nothing to be afraid of, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to the next person then.
Thank you.
Belinda from Singapore. Hi, how are you?
John, I'm well, thank you. I just when we meditate, sometimes we can smell very good fragrance, like and the mind will start to think it could be the deva.
The Buddha said, don't think. When what you experience, just experience the thing, and don't try to interpret it to be this and that. If you smell something, just say you smell something. That's all. Don't say it's a deva or whatever, because you don't know. It's just your own interpretation, and it will confuse you and dilute your mind. So it's better stick to the fact, stick to the evidence. Okay.
Just take smelling as smelling.
Right, smell. Image as image. Don't say whether it's deva or whether it's ghost or whatever. Unless you can talk to them, then you can ask them, who are you? Where you come from? Which can happen to some meditator. Some meditator can connect with the spiritual beings, and then they can talk and ask which realm you come from. Are you from the lower realm or are you from the upper realm? They can communicate. That you can do. But if something that appears in your mind, it can be just something created by the mind itself. So don't waste your time with these images, these nimittas, we call them.
What about after meditation and before? Like we say merits, we share merits.
No, you don't share this type of merit. This merit is only for yourself. If you want to share merit, you have to do charity.
So before we start meditation, some teacher advised it's good to share merits first.
I think that's a misunderstanding. When you meditate, you do it for yourself. If other people want to have the merit, they have to meditate themselves.
What about the other beings who can't meditate? Do we share merits to them with them as well?
No, you cannot. They have to meditate. They just have to develop themselves to the level where they can meditate one day. Right now, they're paying for the consequence of the bad karma.
So when I do a charity work like Dana.
Yes, you can share that to but other type of merit is not shareable.
Oh. Even including the 8 precepts?
Yes, that's for yourself. The other beings have to keep the 8 precepts themselves.
Oh.
You cannot keep it for them. You cannot do it for them. But with dana, you can share them. Because dana is like food, you can share the food.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Next, Eileen, where are you from?
Hi, Ajahn. I'm from Malaysia.
Okay. Any question today?
Yes, my husband has a question.
Ajahn, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have one question. In the context of Mano and Chitta, this life is a delusion. Can you give a short explanation? Thank you, Ajahn.
According to the mind, this life is the mind see this life as something real. See, because this is the illusion of the mind, cause it to see that this life is real. But with an enlightened person, a person who can analyze what he experiences, he sees that this life is not real because it's temporary. It's like a bubble. You know what bubbles are like? Eventually, it's gonna break up and disappear. So the body, our body, is like a bubble, but it takes longer time for it to disappear. That's all. Think about the people who lived before us 100 years before. Where are they now? They're all gone, right? So they're not real, see. But we think they are real. We think our body is real. When in fact, in a few years' time, it's gonna disappear. So this is what it's meant by when a chitta or mind with a delusion will see everything in this world as being real. But when an enlightened person, he sees anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Yeah.
Is that clear enough? So you have to keep contemplating on anicca, dukkha, anatta, on everything that you see or hear or feel or touch. They are impermanent. They come and go. There's no self in this thing. They're just like natural phenomena.
Thank you so much, Ajahn. Your words are very profound. Because this question has been hanging with me for a long time. Thank you so much, Ajahn. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Lim Kim Heng from Singapore or Malaysia.
Ajahn, I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. How are you?
Any question today?
Because Ajahn was mentioning just now about craving cause of the suffering, and also if you read the sutta, most of you can read that craving is the main cause of all this suffering. But the thing is, if you look at the dependent origin doctrine of dependent origin, there are 12 links, and craving is only one of the links. Why is it that craving seems to be, very prominent compared with the others?
Because the other, they are just what you call parts of the chain. Okay, but the real problem is in the craving. See, because craving causes dukkha, and nobody wants dukkha. See? So you have to fix the dukkha. The Buddha still have dependent origination, but he doesn't have. He cut this craving from the chain of reaction. So he still used his mind when he taught the teaching. He used sankhara, but he didn't have any desire for anything in this world. So this is what you want to do, to cut this one out of the link. The noble disciples, they still have dependent origination, but they don't have the cravings in this. They still see things, hear things, but they don't have any cravings for them. So they have no dukkha.
Okay, thank you.
All right. This is how the mind works with the body. See how the mind connects to the body and using the body to access the things in this world, like the 5 sensual objects. But with cravings, it causes you to keep coming back toward them, because craving never gives you satisfaction. You You always want more and more and more, never ending. That's why it keeps cause you to take rebirth again and again. But without craving, there would be no taking of a rebirth. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Next, SG from Singapore.
Hi, evening, Ajahn. How are you?
Yes, how are you? Fine, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, because just a sharing also. I think last week I asked about the applications of meditation to psychology, right? But then I also came across a question about using the philosophy of Buddha about reducing everything. It's like peeling the onion, taking out different layers until you see the true self. So I came across the method of using that as for daily life, like product design. So for example, we design a spoon or a chair or a bed. You take out all the things that's not important, and then you find the true essence of the product, which I think is the true self. So I thought that there's this interesting application to life, which I find it interesting, and it's just for discussion and for just sharing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure how I can put it in the Buddhist context here.
It's fine. It's just because I saw a connection between the Buddhist context about taking out different layers of delusion, and then finding the essence of the true self. So, for example, let's say I'm designing a house, right? Like you say, then you take out all the things that is not important, and finally a house is just a shelter.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to say. And then that house is actually the best house compared to house that is expensive or has laden with unimportant things.
Yes, in Buddhism we use dukkha as the object of we want to get rid of. So whatever we have dukkha with, we want to get rid of that thing. If we have dukkha with money, we give up money. If we have dukkha with working a professional life, we give up that and become a monk, for instance. So we're slowly peeling away all the dukkha that the mind has to endure or experience. The dukkha of having a family, the dukkha of having to rely on money, to rely on fame, to rely on praises, and to rely on sensual objects. So we slowly peel this thing away from the mind. And then the next thing, the dukkha that we get from having a body. So we have to get rid of our attachment to the body, our attachment to feelings, and then eventually our attachment to emotions, finally. And then eventually we'll reach the true self, which is the knower, the knowing element, the pure knowing element that can exist by itself and be happy without having to have anything. Okay, does this sound good to you?
Yep, it's okay. Thank you.
All right. Alvin, you're next. Alvin from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Hi, Ajahn. Ajahn, sorry I couldn't change the name. Ajahn, I usually I've got I experience something through my meditation usually, which I normally don't experience. What happened was I was sitting and then my leg, my feet actually feel intense pain. So I took your advice of continue to concentrate on the breath, and it went away. But not long after that, it came back and it was even more pain. I mean, it's unbearable. So I just had to stop.
See, the goal eventually is to teach the mind to learn to accept pain and not trying to reject it, because the act of rejecting is a form of craving, which can cause more pain in the mind. So if we can eventually realize that the pain is anatta, it's like the weather, that you just have to learn to live with it. If you can teach your mind to eventually accept pain, and then you'll find that the pain is not that awful, it's not that painful. what was painful, more painful was the mental pain. That was caused by your rejection of the physical pain. By stop rejecting and by accepting the physical pain, then you get rid of the mental pain. Then you find that the physical pain is endurable, bearable. So this is what you have to eventually teach your mind, not to be afraid of the physical pain, but face it. Like when you have to take an injection, right? When the doctor says, I have to give you an injection, you already start to feeling bad, even before you even get the injection. But you say, okay, I have to take it, so you just calm your mind, and then you won't feel much painful, because half of the pain in the mind has been gotten rid of.
When I see this pain, I should continue focusing on my breath, right?
Right, and tell your mind to stop rejecting it. Right. Don't hope or wish for it to go away. Just leave it alone. Let it be. If it's gonna remain, let it remain. If it's gonna get worse, let it get worse. But don't try to do anything toward the pain. Then you will stop the mental pain, which is much more painful than the physical pain.
Okay, Ajahn. Thanks.
Okay. Next, Jason Ong. Hi, Jason. Where are you from?
Good evening, Ajahn. I got one question following what you just now explained about sharing of merit. Every time we do chanting, after the chanting, we follow up with the sharing of merits. Can you explain a little bit on that, please?
Well, I think this is a misunderstanding, because merit can be created by different ways, by charity, by keeping the precept, by meditation. And people presume that we can share all types of merit to the departed ones. But in fact, the Buddha never taught this. He only taught the sharing of merit through charity, by giving dana.
So what you're saying that whatever we have been doing, sharing our merits through chanting, not really the Buddha's way. The only Buddha's way of sharing our merits is through charity and dana.
Right, because the merit that you get from charity or dana is complete. While the merit that you gain from chanting or meditating is not yet complete. You're just developing it.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. But why is it all the temples do that, sharing of merit through chanting?
That's because they believe they are the same. They can be shared. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. Very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Edwin Tan from Singapore. Hi, Edwin.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn. Ajahn, today I got two questions I'd like to ask you. The first question is, if I would like to contemplate on who is saying Buddha, and once the mind is calm, I'd like to contemplate who is saying Buddha. Do you have any instructions on how I should go about it?
You mean you want to contemplate to find what's going on, or you want to calm your mind with Buddha?
To contemplate to find out who is the one that is saying Buddha, to find out what's going on.
Okay, the one who's repeating Buddha is Sankhara. Sankhara, one of the Nama Khanda. Thoughts. This is a form of thought. It's a form of thinking. It's Sankhara. And Sankhara is anicca, anatta. Sometimes you can force it to do Buddha, and sometimes you cannot force it to do when it doesn't want to do. So it's anatta. Sankhara is anicca. It's not always there for you. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. So this is how you want to contemplate on Sankhara. That you don't be attached to Sankhara. Don't be attached to any type of thoughts, because they come and go.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. That was very helpful. The next question would be, you mentioned earlier about if we were to contemplate on the body as a skeleton, it will be good to contemplate until the image of the skeleton burns into our mind, that we can see everyone as a skeleton. So if I'm still at the point where I still have to practice and put effort into seeing the skeleton, can I use it as a meditation object, as in the day, I keep the object in my mind, and for now, I try to see others, not just as the body, but try to see everyone as skeleton. Would this be a correct practice?
If you want to use the skeleton as your meditation object, then you fix it. You don't want to spread it to all the other people. Just one skeleton, and like watching your breath, you just keep watching your skeleton with your mental eyes. When you close your eye, and then just create this skeleton in your mind, and keep looking at it. Keep creating this object. Don't let it disappear from your mind. Then you are doing samatha bhavana.
So when this image is solidified and the understanding is there, then I will automatically view other beings as not just the skin, not just the flesh, but like skeleton, and be able to see them for what they are.
You have to apply it when you see people. If you don't apply it, won't come up either. When you see me, you have to look at my skeleton and say, and you say, yeah, I'm just dealing with a skeleton with the skin and flesh covering it. But actually, what underneath is just a skeleton. You have to use your thought to teach your mind that, because what you have used in your meditation, it will only calm your mind, but it won't. If you want to apply it, you have to use your thought to apply it every time you see a person. And instead of dealing with a person, you say you're dealing with skeleton instead. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. That was very clear. May you be healthy and well.
Thank you. You're welcome. Next, Xiao Shang. Xiao Shang, where are you from?
I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Ajahn.
Yes, any question?
Yeah, there's one morning when I wake up, I asked Ajahn on the live. So I asked Ajahn one question is, I can't concentrate on my mantra now. And straight away, you go to my breath, the tips on the nose. So Ajahn say that this is a advancement in the meditation practice. So because of these words, I feel joy, and for 4 days, I can't meditate. Is it this one, the joys also can affect our mind?
If you let it be affected, it can affect your mind, or you can leave it alone, and then it will not affect your mind. If you pay attention to it, then it can affect your mind. It can distract you from your meditation. But if you keep focusing on your meditation object, then it cannot affect your mind.
I see. Because even I have to go back to mantra to as a meditation object rather than concentrate on my tip of my nose. So I think that after 3-4 days, mind calm down, then he's able to come back to the nose again.
Yes, you mean you have lost temporarily your concentration ability. So you have to use the mantra, use chanting to help you bring it back up in order for you to be able to watch your breath at the tip of your nose again.
Yeah. One more thing is, so if now I can straight away go to the concentrate on my tips of my nose. So, but I still can't concentrate fully to achieve the jhana. So is it because of mindfulness again?
Yes, your mindfulness is not strong enough to be able to, not sustain enough to push it into jhana. So you have to keep developing more mindfulness when you're not meditating.
Okay, Ajahn, thank you very much.
All right. Okay, next to Omar. Omar from Pakistan. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Ajahn. I am fine. Thank you for having me here. I have a few questions about the mantra. I started mantra meditation for the first time 2 days ago. And so, you know, Buddha, 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 or Suchart, Suchart, Suchart. So even though mantra meditation is not in the Pali Canon, still it is taught in Thailand because it works. But I've been doing the mantra meditation before sleep at night because it's easier that way. But this is the confusing part. So before I was doing just breath meditation and I was fine with that. But then I realized I cannot do it much with much progress in my meditations most of the time. So I switched to mantra, and now I'm having trouble with the mantra. Like, how long should the duration of the Buddha be? How many Buddhas per second? And should the attention be solely on the Buddha itself, like one-pointed concentration, or some of the attention should be on the body as a reference? So what do you have to say about that?
You just concentrate on just on the word Buddha itself alone, and don't worry about other things. And you can adjust the speed as you like, as you feel comfortable. Sometimes you want to make it fast, you can do it. Sometimes you want to do it slow, you can do it also. Sometimes it depends on your state of mind. Sometimes your mind is quite restless, you might want to use it faster. And if your mind is not restless, then you might not have to do it faster.
Yeah, I agree with that completely, because when I first started, I did really fast, like Buddha, 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 so that the mind gets used to the idea, okay, now it is doing something other than whatever it was doing before. And so the mind is interested in the Buddha. So because it's all about concentration, like you say, and not about duration, that is how you get to the first jhana. So Vitakka and Vichara, which are directed thought and evaluation, we use those two to get into the first jhana. So where are the Vitakka and Vichara here when we are doing Buddha? Like, what is happening? Should we just, if we are just concentrating on the Buddha,
yes,
which is being applied?
When you are concentrating on Buddha, you are observing Buddha, and this is Vitakka, and you know that you are repeating it, then this is Vichara. So when you recite Buddha, Buddha, you have to be aware of Buddha also in order to have Vitakka and Vichara. And
Right,
then if you keep doing this, then the other thing will follow. Will follow by due course. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes using Buddha can skip the second and third and enter into the fourth right away, like falling from a high place.
Wow. Okay. So what was I supposed to say? Yeah, when reciting the Buddha, the new problem is that it can become a mental chore. Like like on automatic, you're doing it, and you're not even aware that there is a Buddha being recited in your mind, and you're suddenly lost in thinking or something else. That shouldn't happen, right?
You should be just like when you first started. Be fully aware of what you do, what you're reciting. It means you're losing your mindfulness.
So attention should be completely 100% on the Buddha.
That's right, all the time.
All the time.
From the start to the end.
Right, and in relation to breath meditation, because they are so similar, the mantra and the Buddha, in the suttas it is say I shall breathe in knowing the entire body. I shall breathe out knowing the entire body. So should we keep some attention on the body from the top to the bottom, like it's there, and not just be absorbed in the Buddha?
I think some of this might be lost in translation. I think the real meaning is lost, because maybe he's referring to the body of the breath, maybe that we should be aware of, not the physical body.
That comes from the commentaries, the breath body, like all those Bhikkhu Bodhi and all those guys. But then people started looking into suttas; it's not even there.
Right. So you have to do it from. You have to use common sense when you practice. What are you watching? You're watching your breath. So just watch your breath. Don't watch the body.
Right, but then there's also a really faint sense of body when we are just watching the breath. So we cannot escape the body. Otherwise, we would not feel the body at all, not feel any
Yes,
pain or pleasure.
but you want to use the breath as the main object. See? The other thing are not important.
Right. So, and how should one breathe during the mantra meditation? Should there be any naturally? Because even if I'm doing it right now, the breath is very shallow.
Don't force your breath. Because when you're forcing your breath, you are using the mind. And what you want to do is to stop the mind from working.
Yeah. So, like I said, when using the Buddha, the breath is very subtle and very shallow. It's almost like it's hard to breathe.
Don't worry about the breath if you use Buddha.
Okay. So, and I'm finding it easier than the breath to practice Buddha and activity as mindfulness practice as well. I mean, in breath meditation, you have to watch it the entire time. In Buddha, you don't even have to watch it. It just has to be there in the back of your mind. And you're doing anything and it will work, right?
Right. And basically, the use of Buddha is to stop to prevent you from thinking about other things.
So is Buddha mantra meditation considered like Mahabua called a paki karma or parikarma? What was that word?
Parikarma means reciting. Parikarma means mental reciting.
But this is the same thing?
Yeah, it means the same thing. Parikarma.
This is not a samatha object of meditation. It is.
It's Buddhanusati.
Buddhanusati, recollection of the Buddha. But that can only take you towards access concentration. It cannot take you to the first jhana. But with Buddha, you say we can go all the way to the fourth jhana.
Yes, Buddha will take you all there. Because there were people who used Buddha and they got into the fourth jhana.
Right. I mean, Mahabua got all the way to enlightenment with Buddha. We shouldn't be even worried about the fourth jhana. Oh, and then I want to talk about the knower. You keep mentioning the knower. This knower, I think, is the same thing in what they call in Mahayana Buddhism as the true self, and Advaita Vedanta as the Brahman or Atman or whatever it is. So is that the same thing, being aware of awareness, which is just the knowing mind, the pure mind?
It's the knowing mind, but it's not pure.
It's not pure.
Only pure when you purify it first. You have to purify it first. You have to get rid of your cravings before it can become purified.
So this stage, Ajahn Mahabua called it,
delusional knower, not
delusional knower or conventional chitta.
Yeah, not enlightened knower.
But we can use this to get all the way to the purified chitta.
But you need someone to direct you to get to the pure chitta, and that's the teaching of the Buddha.
So he said in his book, The Path to Arahantship, that he practiced Buddha all day, every day, for so much time, just morning to evening, nothing but just Buddha on his mind. And then he saw the pure knowing come up over and over again, and then he realized, okay, so this is something new, and I have not found this anywhere at all. So how do we not know that this haven't already arisen inside me?
Oh, I think he's not referring to the pure mind, because
he's not referring to
his mind wasn't pure. Yeah. He was just referring to the original mind. The original mind means the mind that is still, that is not acting, that's not active. When you enter into jhana, that's when you get to the original mind, but not the pure mind.
So why did he use the mantra? Why did he not just use the breath? He used both, I think, but then he just switched to the mantra completely.
It's just by preference, I guess. Some people find it useful for them to use it, but a particular type of object, they use that object.
And he said not to use the sense of the present awareness as the object itself, because that will be harder. Like, don't use the knowing first. Use something to anchor in the present, like the breath or the Buddha. You agree with that, right?
Yes, because your mind, your knower is not strong enough. It will fall into the trap of the sankhara. The sankhara will start thinking, and so you need something to stop sankhara, and that's, you have to focus on an object, like a mantra of your breath.
Right, well, if we just use the object of knowing as meditation itself,
If you can do that, that's fine. If you can stop your mind from thinking and bring it into the fourth jhana, it's okay also.
Yeah, that's what I
I
wanted to
I
ask.
doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think the knowing element can take us to the jhanas, because it is not sankhara. I don't think so.
Because it's attached to the sankhara. See.
Right. So we don't have much choice here except for the
Right.
Buddha or the breath. But
You
we
need,
cannot.
you
Yeah.
need to use the Buddha or the breath to separate the knower from the sankhara.
Right. I know Ajahn Jeff talks about it. He said it is like tuning a radio to the desired frequency. So the knower, it separates from the known, and then you have the pure mind. It is like that. So I think I have already reached that stage, but now the next task is to go into the jhanas itself. So that's what I wanted to ask about, whether I should use the Buddha or the breath or Suchart. So
You can
yeah.
try anything. This is a matter of trial and error that you have to find it for yourself. I cannot tell you which one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all I wanted to ask. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, fine. Next, Sajal Ka from Maryland. Hi, how are you?
Thank you, Ajahn. Good evening. And before I ask you my questions, I would like to thank your assistants and Jack for taking the initiative to send me these books. These are your writings, and these objects are actually real objects, and I really like them. I've started reading them, and they're very lucid and very beautifully written, and I thank you for that. This is like a Christmas present for me. Now, I'll quickly go to the question. I think it connects back to several answers that you gave, but it started with questions from Jack that in my case, I will say that when someone is under verbal assault or abuse, how do you not run away, but how can you use mindfulness to stay put and not take it in and not be affected? Good or bad is not the thing. My question is that what would be the particular type of mindfulness, whether it is Buddha or on the breath? What is the technique that I could use so that I don't have to flee?
Well, basically, I think you can use Buddha or you can do some chanting. You chanting Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami mentally. And instead of paying to what the person is doing to you, you just focus on your chanting instead. Then you forget about that person's action. And then you don't have to react to that person's action because you already forgot. Just right now, you have forgotten about whoever did bad to you before, right? So you just want to get them out of your mind by replacing with something else like chanting or Buddha. Or if you can focus on anything, if you can focus on the skeleton, just use the skeleton. Just keep focusing on the skeleton until you forget about the person that caused you to have the dukkha. It's like switching remote. You have remote control on your television, right? If you're watching this channel and it's not good for you, you just switch it, to another channel. It's the same thing. If you're watching people abusing you and it's causing you stress, then you switch it to another channel, to chanting, to Buddha. Then your stress will disappear once you no longer been exposed to the person who abused you. So
because
you have
sometimes
to learn
it's not.
You have to
sometimes
practice.
it may not.
You have to practice first, because if you don't do your homework, when you have to do the test, you cannot do it. So right now you have to try to use mantra, focus on a mantra, and be able to sustain it when you run into some problem and you don't want to have to deal with it. Then you just use the mantra, stay with the mantra. Then the problem cannot get into your mind. See? It's out there, but it cannot get into your mind because you have the mantra to stop it from coming into your mind. Actually, it doesn't come into your mind. Your mind pull it in. So you stop your mind from pulling it in by using a mantra. Let it do the mantra instead of pulling in the object that causing you problem. See what I mean?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
And in order to be able to do this in real time, you have to practice. You have to practice right now when you're alone, when you don't have any problem with anybody yet. And you try to practice Bhutto, 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 Bhutto. So that when the time comes for you to use Bhutto, then you can use it. If you don't practice, when the time comes, you will not be able to use Bhutto because your mind keep want to go back to the person who keep abusing you. All right? It's like a boxer. You have to train before you go up to the ring to face your opponent. You know? If you don't train before how to box, when you go up to the ring, you'll be beaten by your opponent. So you have to train in using the mantra before you actually using it in real situation. If you don't train yourself with the mantra, when something happens to you, you react to that thing right away, and you forget about the mantra altogether. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Lillian and Panya. You're from Malaysia and your husband is from Thailand, right?
Yes, yes. And we're in Bangkok at the moment.
All right. Okay.
Yep. I have two questions. It's a bit related to what Alvin was saying just now. Let's say you have a very bad headache the whole day. Do you push yourself to do meditation no matter what, or you just take a rest on that day?
Well, it depends on what you have to do. If it's physical, then you might have to fix your body first before you can meditate.
Okay.
But if you think you can meditate and then solve the problem of your body also, then you go ahead and meditate. Sometimes your headache might be mentally induced, maybe stress or something. And when you meditate, your mind becomes calm, and then the stress disappears, and then the headache also might disappear. Then you can use meditation to solve your problem.
Okay.
But if you find it hard to concentrate on your meditation because your headache keeps bothering you, then you might have to stop meditating first and fix your headache first before you can come back and meditate.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, when we do dana let's say we donate food to the monk, right? After you give food to him, he will say some blessings, some prayers. So what do we do when he's saying the prayer? Do we dedicate it to the people that we want, or we just listen to the prayer and then we just do the water
The dedication later on.
dedication later on?
Yeah, you just listen to what he said, what he giving you the blessing.
Okay.
So you just receive the blessing by just using your palm, put your palms together and just let him say what he wanted to say until he finished. And you just say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And then when you want to dedicate your merit, then you can do that later on.
Okay. Okay.
Afterwards.
Okay, thank you. That's the two questions I have.
Okay.
Thanks.
Next, Gek Yen So. Hi, Gek from Penang. How are you?
I'm good, Ajahn. How about you?
Good, thank you. You have any question today?
No question, Ajahn. I'm still learning to accept the pain and numb during the meditation. No question. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can accept the pain, then you would have no dukkha in your mind. Your mind will be peaceful. It's a matter of learning to accept things as they are. If we can teach the mind to accept things as they are, then there will be no dukkha in the mind.
It's
But
not easy.
if we cannot accept things, then there will be dukkha. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Next is Phoebe Sang from Toronto. Hi, Phoebe. Good morning. How are you?
Well, thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you for your donation to the school.
Thank you very much for accepting.
Okay. Anything?
No, I don't have any questions.
I just want to listen today, huh? Okay. I think we have finished with the first round. I think everybody has been given the chance to ask their question. Now it's the second round. So anybody who wants to, or maybe let me go to the people who sent in question first. Okay. Kun La, is there anybody who sent in any question to you?
Yes, there are one question from Facebook,ท่านอาจารย์. A question from Joe Chu Light. Ajahn, I am from Malaysia. In what circumstances can a monk have a personal bank account? Thank you.
Well, it's not prohibited because there was no bank account during the time of the Buddha. But since, as far as money is concerned, the Buddha said the monk cannot keep it in his own possession, but he can leave it with someone he can trust. So a bank can be considered someone he can trust. So he can leave the money that he gets from donation and put it in the bank. And then whenever he needs to use it, he just tell the bank to withdraw the money by maybe asking someone to go and withdraw the money for him. As a monk, we're not supposed to touch the money or keep the money, but we can still receive the money and then have someone look after the money for us. And when we need to use the money, we can ask that person to get the money and spend on whatever we want. So I think having a bank account is okay.
And one more question, ท่านอาจารย์. Question from Len Lata. I am from Cambodia. My respect to ท่านอาจารย์. I have two questions. Why is not a bhikkhu permit to cut down the tree and grass? Is it bad action?
Well, during the ancient time, people think trees have life. See? So when you cut a tree, you're killing a tree. So the Buddha said in order to conform to the local belief, then monks should not kill trees by not cutting trees or cutting grass, because the Buddha doesn't want to create any controversy. He wants to, if he can accommodate people's view, then he does it. So, but in truth, we know that there's no vijnana in trees or grasses. There's no knowing, there's no speech, there's no what you call consciousness. They're just living things, but they're not conscious. So if you cut them, they don't know that they're being cut.
And the second question from Len. Telling lie makes many mistakes for bhikkhu, major or minimal mistake.
It depends on what kind of lies. If it's a lie that has been forbidden in the what you call the cardinal precept, like telling people that you have attained to a sotapanna, and if you are not, for the sake of making people believing in you and maybe giving respect and giving you support, then this is considered the very bad offense for a monk, and he has to disrobe if he's caught doing this type of lies. But if normal lies, like someone asks you what is today and you say it's Friday when it's actually Monday, for instance, then this is not considered to be major lies. Yes. Okay, so you can make amends for this type of lies. You're not forced to disrobe.
And two more questions, ท่านอาจารย์. Question from Hai Ing Il. What do you think of the Bardo state as preached by the Rinpoches?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
And next question from Lisa Wu. Good evening, Ajahn. Does the meditator know exactly if they have acquired Sotapanna?
Yes, but they might not know the name of that state. You know. But they know that they have no longer have any fear of death or fear of pain, for instance. They know that they have let go of the body, their attachment to the body. But if they don't study the scripture, they don't know what this state, the name of this state is. So if somebody asks a Sotapanna, are you a Sotapanna? He might not say, I don't know. I am or not. You have to give me the description first of a Sotapanna. Then if you give the description and say, oh yeah, okay, it sounds like me.
And one question from Xiao Chang. Ajahn, I know for some Ajahn, their body still exists and not rotten till today. Why is it so? One of the example is Ajahn Lee.
We don't know. Maybe somebody put some chemical into the body, embalming the body, like the bodies, Egyptian bodies in the pyramid. You know. So they have methods of preserving the body. So someone might did something to that body, so it doesn't decay. But it doesn't have any significance as far as the body is concerned.
And next question from Jimmy Ong.ท่านอาจารย์, my question is, during meditation, we might doze off. Is it because of we are tired?
Because you're tired, maybe, and because you don't have mindfulness. Mainly, you don't have enough mindfulness. So sometimes you're not tired, but you can still go to sleep also.
That's all, ท่านอาจารย์
Okay. Anybody would like to ask any question, please raise your hand and then unmute your microphone. Okay, Joseph.
Yeah, Ajahn, you were sharing about being about being a monk. My question is, what is the difference between monks who are accomplished and those monks who are struggling in their ordination and in their monk's life? Is it because those accomplished monks had cultivated in their past lives and are destined to be monks in their current life? That's why they are accomplished?
Not necessarily. Some people are had nothing in the past life to do with, but they found they have interest in the teaching of the Buddha and they keep following the teaching. They can also become accomplished. So different people have different background to become accomplished, not necessarily to have the same background.
So it doesn't mean that an accomplished monk needs to be destined to be a monk in his current life so that he can be enlightened.
Well, if he was a Sotapanna, if he is an enlightened monk person already, then he is destined to become a monk or live like a monk, because he has cultivated his life that way in the past. So he just pick up after when he take rebirth, he continue on with what he had cultivated in his past life.
So that makes it slightly easier for him to cultivate.
Oh yes, definitely, because you already done half of the work, for instance. So you just have to do the other half.
Right.
You don't have to start all over again every time with a new rebirth. It's not like being a rich man. When you're reborn the next life, you might have to start all over again. But if you are Sotapanna, when you take a rebirth, you will still be a Sotapanna. And then you can continue on with your next level of achievement.
So in your experience as an accomplished monk, Tanajan, what do you see? What are the problems that you see in those monks that are struggling? What are the causes?
They're not able to get rid of their hindrances, the 5 hindrances. So they have to get rid of the 5 hindrances. They are obstacles to their path to the spiritual accomplishment. So you have to be very careful with the 5 hindrances. Try to get rid of them if you have them. Doubt, Down in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, sensual pleasure, desire for sensual pleasure, anger, restlessness and worry, agitation, and sloth and torpor, for instance. So these are the things that you have to overcome if you want to be able to advance and accomplish in your spiritual path. I think we have a person, we haven't yet let him ask the question. I think it's William. He closed his screen just now, so now he's on. Hi, William. You want to say or ask any question? Unmute your microphone.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
Bhante, I always ask the same question. I've really injured myself spiritually, so I don't know how to recover from it.
Just forget it. It's a past already gone. You cannot do anything about it. Just start over again, that's all. Just start over. Try not to repeat the same mistake that you have done in the past. That's all.
Yeah.
Can you do that? Just forget about the past and just, if you want to think of the past, use it as a lesson to teach you not to do it again, not to repeat the same mistake.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? If you keep going back to the past, then use a mantra to stop it from going to the past. Keep reciting Bhutto, 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 until your mind become blank, become empty, and you feel normal. You feel you don't have any conscience, guilty conscience. It will disappear temporarily when you clear your mind with Bhutto, Bhutto. Okay, try to use Bhutto, try to meditate. When your mind becomes calm, then the past will disappear from your mind.
Can you injure yourself so seriously, though, that you can't do that?
Nothing is impossible. With meditation, you just keep doing it. Or else the Buddha would not teach us how to meditate.
No.
But we just have to be persistent, that's all. We have to exert ourselves in meditation, in mindfulness.
Thanks.
Okay? All right. Anybody else? Anybody wants to ask? Okay, Mudita from Canada.
Hi, Ajahn. Somebody just asked about falling asleep, and you responded about improving mindfulness to help to stay awake. What is the best way to do that?
Get up and walk. If you sit and sleep, you just get up and walk.
Okay. That's easy.
Do walking meditation.
Okay.
Don't lay down. Don't
okay.
lie down. Lie down, you go to sleep.
It's very, very easy for me to do that. Okay, thank you. I'll try that.
You're welcome. Well, we have spent 2 hours and 3 minutes. Check, you want to say something? Go ahead. Can you unmute? Okay.
John, just now you said to Edwin that Sankara is the one that's saying Putto Putto. But when we are meditating, you always say that we should stop the Sankara. I don't know how that works. How
Stop the Sankara that create restlessness and agitation. See? But you use the Sankara that can stop the restlessness and agitation. Bhutto is a good Sankara. Use the good Sankara to stop the bad Sankara.
So there's such thing as a good Sankara.
Yes, Bhutto, like Bhutto.
Oh.
Or chanting. These are good Sankara. See? Because it doesn't create any craving. See? But other Sankara will start create craving. When you think of something to eat, then you become hungry right away. You want to have something to eat. When you're thinking of something to see, you start to have craving for that already. So you want to stop this type of Sankara by using the good Sankara, like the mantra Bhutto Bhutto, or do chanting.
Yeah, so Ajahn, in the beginning, that means we have to use effort to keep reciting, force the Sankara.
That's right. You have to force the Sankara to go into to do the good Sankara and not the bad Sankara. You cannot expect it to happen because your sankhara has been trained to think of bad sankhara all the time. So you have to reverse the process by forcing it to recite mantra or chanting or listen to the Dhamma talk. When you listen to Dhamma talk, your sankhara also have to think about the Dhamma talk that you're listening to. That's why the Buddha said listening to the Dhamma talk or having Dhamma conversation is very beneficial.
Oh,
that's really good.
yeah. Then eventually we change our view.
That's that also stop the bad sankhara and also create the right view, get rid of the wrong view.
Okay.
Like you spend 2 hours here listening and talking about Dhamma, and so your sankhara only think about this Dhamma thing. You don't think about making money or going on a holiday. But when you stop, you might start thinking about making money again. I don't know.
It comes back.
So after this talk, you have to continue on using good sankhara, chanting, reciting Bhutto, Bhutto. You have to force your mind. Don't let your mind go automatic on its own because it will start to generate bad sankhara again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tan Ajahn, I have one more question. During the Q&A, I think you said somebody asked you about the Satipatthana, the second one, the feeling. Is it mental or physical feeling? And you said it's both. I don't know the difference between the mental feeling and the third one, the chitta. Is there a difference?
I mean, the feeling can be physically induced or mentally induced. The physically induced is when you get sick, for instance. You got a headache. This is feeling physically induced by the body. While the mental feeling is the feeling that induced by the mind. The mind rejecting something it doesn't like, for instance, can make when you run into something you don't like and the mind react to it negatively, you get bad feeling also. Not from the body, but from the mind. That's why you want to train the mind to not to react, see, so that you don't generate any bad feeling out of by the mind. You want to have equanimity, just to be merely knowing and not reacting to anything that you come across. Is that clear enough? You have to.
Sorry, how is that different with the chitta, the emotional part?
That's mentally induced. The emotion is induced by your sankhara.
So
when you see something you like, you feel excited, you feel happy. When you run into something you don't like, you feel sad. These are emotion. Happiness, sadness, these are all emotion.
Right.
Or you can call it feeling, induced mental feeling. So emotion, it means mental feeling.
So they're the same, Ajahn?
Yeah, they're the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Not
right.
Physical feeling. It has nothing to do with the body, right? The physical feeling is when you've been slapped by somebody. Somebody slapped you in the face. That's physical feeling, and also mental feeling come both. You're angry when somebody slapped you, so you have two bad feelings, physical and mental at the same time. But with an arahant, he only have one physical feeling, but no mental feeling. Like the Buddha before he died a few days, he was walking and then he was tired, so that Ananda is to find a place for him to lay down. He said, my body is aching. See, he has physical feeling, bad feeling from the body, but his mind has no bad mental feeling from that. But for normal people, they tend to have both of them at the same time. Your body gets sick, your mind also gets sick at the same time with the body. Because you haven't yet used wisdom to separate the mind from the body.
It's clear. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Kunla, more question?
Yes, 2 more questions from Facebook ท่านอาจารย์ First question from Lisa Wu. Hi อาจารย์ Can a lay meditator attain third state of sainthood when living alone at home, or he or she must eventually live in the monastery?
Living where doesn't matter. It's matter whether you have the wisdom to see Asupa or not. If you have the wisdom to see Asupa, you have the wisdom to see that the 5 khanda is anicca, dukkha, anatta. You can attain enlightenment up to the 3rd stage. It doesn't matter where you practice, really. But the places can support you or can obstruct your practice. If you live in a monastery, it might be more conducive to your practice than practicing at home if you have to live with other people. But if you live alone by yourself, you might consider that to be a monastery also. Because the goal of having a monastery is to be alone, that's all. To be alone and not to be disturbed by other people or things. But then you also have to exert in your practice. You have to develop mindfulness, you have to develop samadhi, you have to develop wisdom, in order for you to become enlightened.
And last question from Liao Yung Ming. Hi อาจารย์ Can yoga or qigong exercises before meditation helps to enhance or improve the quality of meditation? Some monks use this method.
If you're mindful, yes, if you use that exercise as a form of developing mindfulness, then your meditation will then be easier because you have stronger mindfulness. So the thing is not the exercise, but the mindfulness that you use with your exercise. You can be running, walking, and with mindfulness. Then when you meditate, you'll find that sitting meditation can be a lot easier. But if you're not mindful, even if you do some yoga or walking meditation, but your mind keeps running around all over the place, when you meditate, when you sit meditate, you will not find it easy for you to meditate. So the main thing is mindfulness. That will decide how your meditation goes, whether it's successful or not. Okay, anybody else? Anybody have any question?
Phoebe.
Phoebe?
Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, Ajahn, you said you were just talking about how mental feelings and physical feelings are separate, and so I tend to experience emotions very strongly, and for example, if I feel whatever the emotion arises, I might be crying spontaneously, and if that thought comes in my head, I start to cry. I had the experience the other day where I was telling my mother about a dream I had, and that in that dream I felt very sad and I cried. And then as I'm telling her about this dream, I'm not feeling sad, but it distracted my mind and I start to cry spontaneously. I'm talking to her and I'm saying, this is ridiculous, I'm crying, and I know it's not happening, but I'm still crying. Or for example, I might feel extremely afraid or angry, and then I feel that pain in my body. So I would like to understand what is going on and what can I do to counter that.
Well, calm your mind. Use mindfulness, mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, chanting. And then because your emotion is created by your sankhara, your thoughts about things. So when you stop thinking about things, then the emotion associated with your thought will disappear. So when you start to feel emotional, then you start reciting Bhutto, Bhutto. Excuse me. Got it? Okay. Excuse me. Anybody else? Looks like everybody wants to go home, or already home and wants to go to bed, or wants to go to do something else. Well, thank you very much for your participation in this meeting. I hope that it is of some benefit to you and help you advance in your practice. If you feel that you need more, well, you can come back again next week. We'll meet at the same time next week. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay mindful, and
thank you, Tanajan. Sadhu,
goodbye.
sadhu, sadhu.
Thanks, thanks, admin.
Thank you,พี่บอยพี่หลา
Thank you.
Bye bye everyone.